Kyle gathered all the money he could find, went to the guards and begged for a new cell, but they mocked him saying it wasn't enough. He had no choice but to swallow his anger. Later he learned, the prison openly ran a capital game, with human lives as chips, bloody fighting tournaments, the only allowed way to move up. Winners gained status and privileges. Losers were often beaten to death on the spot. The guards and warden didn't just know, they designed the whole system, and were the biggest gamblers. They collected huge bets and bribes, turning murder into a violent business. Mad Dog was the undefeated champion of this bloody arena, and the warden's most profitable weapon. Crossing him meant challenging the prison's entire profit system, but revenge came fast. Mad Dog's men dragged Kyle away, under the watch of the guards. They gave him a public beating. Afterwards Kyle was thrown back into solitary. Clearly they wouldn't let him die. They'd just make him suffer worse than death. The worst torture came from the weather. When it rained, water flooded the cell, mixed with filth, turning it into a sewage pool. He had nowhere to sleep, and the stench was overwhelming, making the torture unbearable. He didn't know how many days and nights he survived. When he came out, Kyle was broken and empty, looking like a beggar. He endured it all, but staying quiet didn't keep him safe. It only made Mad Dog bolder. During lunch, Mad Dog walked up to Kyle's table, spit in his food tray, then ordered Kyle to wait for him that night. Kyle knew if he backed down now, he'd lose far more than dignity. If he faced it bravely, even if he died fighting, at least he'd prove he was a man. What did he have to fear? Guards rushed over. No questions, no investigation. They immediately charged Kyle with disturbing the peace.
Going inside for a long time.
This solitary stay made Kyle realize everything. Hell has its own rules. Only the strong survive. Only winners make it to the end. To keep the last bit of his humanity, he had to master ultimate violence. After that day, he started training like crazy. No equipment, so he used the prison walls, iron bars, floor, punching bags, heavy objects, running track, anything he could find, to build his body and will. As he grew stronger, his eyes turned colder and colder. After months of inhuman training, he stepped into the fighting ring. His opponent was his old enemy Mad Dog. As soon as the match started, Kyle was stunned by a heavy punch. A violent knee to the body followed, putting him completely on the defensive. Mad Dog pressed the attack, but Kyle took every hit, until he finally saw an opening. He threw a hard punch, then a second, a third, fighting back wildly. Unfortunately, Mad Dog had more experience, and quickly turned the tide. Kyle was no match. Mad Dog lifted him up, and slammed him down with a suplex, then drove his knee into Kyle's temple. Kyle's vision blurred. In terrible pain he took a sharp kick to the body. Finally Mad Dog grabbed his leg, and slammed it into the bars. At that moment of life and death, Kyle kicked Mad Dog as hard as he could in the groin, then lunged forward, and bit through Mad Dog's carotid artery with his teeth. When everyone finally reacted, and pulled him off, Mad Dog was already bleeding heavily, dying instantly. The whole yard fell dead silent. Only Kyle covered in